Thank you.
Popping claims, Batman. Another hot and fresh episode of Press Start.
And our 13th season.
Yep. And as always, I am your host, Matt.
And as you can see, I'm not Colton. I'm Mike. I used to be the host, and now I don't do that anymore. But
We don't know where Colton is.
Yeah, Colton's missing.
Can't find him. But while we look for him,
we're having an Amber Alert.
Let's get into some news while we look for him, shall we?
Yes, please.
Yep.
And welcome back to yet another exciting season of Press Start and what should hope to be an information-packed edition of the Press Start News Roundup. There have been tons of trailers, new games, reviews, and awards, and anything else you can think of in the last few weeks. Today I'll do a quick recap of what has happened since last season. Let's go. To start, let's talk movie trailers, specifically Marvel trailers. Just before and during the Super Bowl, we saw some action for Avengers Endgame. Tony Stark is stuck in space and making a recording for Pepper Potts. The Avengers have a plan to take down Thanos after killing half of all living creatures. And oh hey look, Hawkeye and Ant-Man are there. Yay, I guess. But next, we have a sequel to Spider-Man Homecoming. Spider-Man Far From Home, Peter Parker gets a visit from good old Nick Fury to help, you guessed it, save the day from Jake Gyllenhaal and some weird water creature. Well, I know who he's playing, but go and see it for yourself if you haven't yet. Last for the Marvel lineup is in fact Captain Marvel herself, the noble warrior hero who has no recollection of some of her memories and goes from flying fighter jets to just flying through space and saving Earth. Big shocker, but we got a younger Nick Fury before the eye patch, so be sure to tell us what you think of these movie trailers for Marvel. There are plenty of trailers out there, but let's take a break and talk new game releases. Finally, there was the release of Kingdom Hearts 3 at the end of January. Continuing the story after a plethora of side games is somehow still not the end of this long-running series, but as always, Sora must increase his strength and save the day, and well, you know the drill. We already covered Smash Bros. Ultimate at the end of last season, but since then there was a tournament for that a few weeks ago, and a new character has been added in Piranha Plant. To see more on that tournament from Aiden later on the show. The last game we'll talk about is Resident Evil 2, the remake that just came out just over 2 weeks ago. A nice updated version of the classic 90s horror game, but stay tuned for a review of that with Press Start's very own Mike Corona. Back to trailers, let's hit on some non-superhero films that you should be excited for. John Wick, our favorite assassin, is in for a whole lot of action-packed fun when the entire secret society is after him for breaking the rules. At least he has a new little buddy at his side. Alright, that should do it for the news. I'm sure there were plenty of games and shows we didn't get into. So what was your favorite release or trailer to come out in the last few weeks? And what did we not cover here that you were excited for? Let us know on all our social media at PressStartIUPTV, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel where all of our episodes, segments, and additional content is posted after they air here. Until next time, I'm Jake, and this has been your Press Start News Roundup. See ya.
Holy heck. Lots of Marvel stuff this time around. Lots of Marvel stuff.
I'm excited for Endgame. I need to know what happens.
So do I. I need
I've been
that
itching
closure.
since, what, was it May last year?
Yeah. I didn't even know they were going to make another movie, and then they told me that they were. Speaking of things I didn't know about, we're going to, this time we're going to play a long play. We're going to play Shovel Knight this time around.
I actually never played Shovel Knight.
I have, and I love it.
Yeah.
So let's check that out. Welcome to Press Start.
Welcome to a hot, fresh new season of Press Start.
Camera.
Wait.
Facing the wrong camera.
This is Press Start. We're playing long play.
Multiple
playing
cameras.
Shovel
Over
Knight.
there.
Shovel Knight.
Great.
That's what we're playing.
Yes.
So let's do it. I'm going to name it. Oh, what?
Oh, we just different campaigns. We just see the
No, we're just being Shovel Knight.
Okay.
shovel.
Shovel.
You gotta have the
What do you have
shovel.
a name?
Name him.
Okay, I'm going to name him
Please don't name him Shovel. Smart.
Smart.
Marv. Good old Smart.
This is
Not
the
too
Shovel
Oh,
Knight.
dude.
Wow.
name.
Dude, look at us jam out on our shovel
Long
guitar.
ago, the lands were untamed and roamed by legendary adventures.
Legendary adventure. All my heroes, none shone brighter than Shovel Knight and Shield Knight. I don't know.
That sounded like Shovel Knight, I think.
But their travels together ended in the Tower of Fate. Wow. What a cursed evidence wrought a terrible magic.
On the Tower of Fate.
When Shovel Knight awoke, the tower was sealed and Shield Knight was gone.
Dude, his lady.
What if Shield Knight doesn't use a shield and it was just named poorly? Like Shovel Knight,
They knighted her wrong.
do you think Shovel Knight has to use a shovel because his name is Shovel Knight, or is it
Shovel
just called
Knight
Shovel Knight?
uses shovels and tends to
Became a
play.
farmer.
Probably called Shovel Knight because he uses shovels. Not only
All right.
We got the story.
We got it. It's a plot.
Okay.
For chivalry. Aha!
Aiden, you're green.
Can I agree?
All right, we're
Alright, dig that treasure up, dude.
Yeah.
Get those
Nice
gems.
gas.
Yeah, get that done.
Lovely.
Pro tip. Off to a great start.
Okay.
This is so much different.
How do I?
I thought you played this game before, man.
I have a long time ago.
You
Yeah.
might have played in a long time.
That's so they didn't even play it for a long time.
Oh, you just go
Yeah.
down. You don't need to attack when you go down. Oh.
Yeah. That's what you can
These
do.
are like
Yeah.
DuckTales.
Oh.
Welcome back. We had some technical difficulties.
Technical
guys?
difficulties.
We did the things, we shoveled the shoveled, we knighted the knights, and now everything's good. Hopefully.
Everything
Let's-
went
yeah.
black and
Check it
I
out.
didn't know where I was.
You should break that checkpoint. You should jump on it like a shovel.
Yeah.
Oh, I got you. I got you, fam.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the laser just breaks.
I mean,
I don't think
in
I'll
one of the
break.
stages it can.
Matt, go. Leave me.
Huh? Oh, that's nice. Okay.
See you, nerd.
So like,
I have to
each
do it.
person has their own set of
Ooh,
Dragon.
you can jump on his head.
So are they like homing attack?
No, you just jump and then you hold down and then he does a little.
Was that supposed to be a boss?
No, I think it was like a mini boss.
Oh, well, that was about to say that was easy for a boss.
So I'm pretty sure they do nothing to the co-op kind of just makes the game a little bit easier.
No, it's getting harder because I'm playing with Matt.
Oh,
This is like Mega Man,
Okay.
except not at all like Mega Man.
It's like
That
Mega
moves
Man,
everything like
except
Mega Man.
medieval.
Oh, there's slimes.
You're taking a lot of damage, dude.
I'm the tank, dude. All right.
You're exactly the same as him. How could you
Wait,
be
no,
the
don't
same?
go back. Go
There's
back.
a secret.
You gotta get the secrets.
Yeah, I saved you from taking damage, man. You're welcome.
Yeah, it,
I saved you.
Way to go, Tank.
ooh, dude, get that now.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry that I pulled aggro. That you pulled aggro.
All right, I'll see.
Can I go down? No.
Goodbye.
How do you know that?
And you'll lose our shekels.
But it looks so appetizing to fall down that hole, though. There could be a secret. Are you the most secrets?
Slime. Hold on to this money.
Look at that.
I'll get that dinner bell. Are you serious? That's it. I'm not letting you leave.
Ah, go forward.
I can't. There's a thing up there.
There's money. You're not getting.
You could go the
Okay,
other.
Aiden, turn around. Aiden, there's a secret on top of this sand.
No. Oh, there's a slime. Hold on. Got it.
Hey, you got him?
Yeah, I got it.
You know,
Don't worry.
for
The day is
co-op
saved
mode.
because thanks to the power of.
Friendship.
Shovel
Yeah.
knife.
Wait, Matt. There's no money.
Gotta hit
one
this
shekel.
thing to get the money.
Alright,
Yeah, that was 10 seconds,
Bye.
dude.
Oh,
You could
Matt.
have gotten more things.
oh, wait.
No.
Secret, dude.
Matt,
Ah, quick.
you gotta move.
Money. Look, when I start playing, I'm gonna find all the.
Playing this game with Aiden is like playing with my 3-year-old cousin.
It's really hurtful to say because. Dude, there's a move.
I grabbed it by accident. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
I grabbed it by accident.
I'm sorry that you're
I'm
almost
sorry.
dead on the first level.
I'm sorry.
You're supposed to be
Matt,
the tank.
Matt, why?
Yeah, you're not healing the tank, Matt. This is why we're gonna wipe.
It's all your fault.
You're gonna make the raid wipe. Oh, look who died now. I'm so glad you got all the money.
Look at all the health that Matt has. Look at all the health that Aiden has.
Oh, when you die, you lose money.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, doesn't it, Matt?
That skeleton just died by falling down.
Oh, you know, hurts to see that.
Aiden's got you, Matt, don't worry.
Matt, no, I gotta move. I gotta move. I gotta move.
Sorry.
I gotta
Sorry.
move.
No,
I gotta move.
no, can't allow it.
Oh, there's slimes. No. No.
Way to go, Aiden. This is all your fault.
My fault.
Yep.
You didn't let me
So,
get any of the
you
food.
killed me and got rid of all of my health.
You didn't let me get any of the food.
Huh.
got him, Matt. Showed him his boss.
Oh, you're stuff on the floor. Oh, that's kind of nice.
It's like Dark Souls.
Okay.
This is the Dark Souls.
Dude, it's a Dark Souls for platformers, dude.
Okay.
Checkpoints are just bonfires.
Ow. Except they don't give you help.
See it to the left, dude.
Big crab. Ooh.
Secret.
I'm still not dealing with
Alright, Matt, grab all that and we'll just take us back.
See, this is what cooperation is like.
I know you're
Yeah,
talking
it doesn't know
about
how to cooperate.
Oh, yeah, I don't know how to cooperate, says the guy who takes all the food. I swear to You're ruining this. That's what you are. You're the Black Knight of this friendship.
Cool.
I don't
I
want
think it's the black sheep.
Ow. This gets way easier when you actually have things other than your shovel.
Wait. So you're telling me the Shovel Knight can use stuff other than a shovel?
Yeah, dude, he gets like little magic abilities that are like, you can...
Little
There's
Mac
one's like a
abilities.
propeller that like lets you
Oh,
fly.
Matt, you hit me so
dash.
good in the back.
So
We got this.
He's laughing at us. Yeah, keep on. Bunny hop on him.
So if he's
Bonk
not
that
using a shovel, will he still be Shovel Knight?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, he's still Shovel Knight. That's his
He-
name.
His main
But he
weapon
wouldn't-
that's
is
his
his
main
shovel.
name.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what his parents called him, dude. Mommy Shovel Knight was like, oh, name him Shovel Knight.
I did it. I got the final blow. See, it's green because I did it.
Is it green?
Yes.
I don't think it was. All right.
There you go.
Dude, look at dude, it's green.
Exactly. It's green for gold. No, wait.
Or blue
That's not
green.
what
Green
green
for
is.
me. Because I'm green.
Why not take a nice little
Nice,
snooze?
nice little nap.
Take a nice little bonfires, just like Dark Souls.
Doing the thing.
Just existing.
Checking your phone.
Checking out James's butt.
It's catcher,
It
dude.
works.
Wait, so we're gonna get her now?
Nah, dude. It's
How
green.
much health that boss has. Catch her.
Oh,
James, you better catch her. James,
You got her.
I did all that work just for the Blue Knight to get the thing. James, you disappoint me.
The blue light got your lady. Hit the hit the bonfire. Give them extra shekels.
Hey, you guys lost.
Good job. All right, that was your level.
But
Back to
did
us.
this.
Oh, check that out.
You actually did better.
Dude,
I'm
aim's the
telling
best,
you,
man.
gold collected, a little bit less,
I mean,
but you know,
think
at least
it
I didn't
is.
die
Still
as
won.
much. What?
I
I
think
collected more shekels. Wow. How about that, Shovel Knight? We shoveled.
And we're a knight.
That's very true. Have you
Press start approved.
Have you seen Colton anywhere?
No,
I haven't found him. Is he?
I don't see him.
I don't see him.
You know what? We'll go look for him, and while we're looking for him, we
We'll
had
look at Mushroom Kingdom. That's what we're gonna look
in
at.
a brand new segment.
Called Gaming Tourism. Let's check that out.
Are you stressed? Does the world just make you just want to run away and find a new place to live where you could relax and unwind? Well, I will help discover that special place for you. I'm Michael Urbans, and I will be your travel agent in a special segment I'd like to call the Gaming Tourist. Today, we will be discussing a location you might already know and love as a kid and an adult, the Mushroom Kingdom. If you had any Nintendo console, you would know of a nice, scenic land of the Mushroom Kingdom. There, you can marvel at the cutesy town, enjoy the calm environment of the fields around it, and get to meet the sweet citizens of the area like Princess Peach, Toadstool, and the former plumbers turned heroes Mario and Luigi Mario. Now I know what most of you might be saying, but what about that dragon turtle that keeps attacking the city, stealing the princess, and threatening the town? Why would I want to live in a place like that? Well, you see, one, the dragon turtle doesn't exist. That's just a rumor about the town. And two, even if there was, then Mario and Luigi would handle that problem easily. With that out of the way, let's talk about some of the events that occur in the town. While this town may seem too slow, it's much more active with the many events that occur in the area. These events range from racing, baseball, soccer, or tennis. But if sports aren't your thing, there is the yearly parties. Every year, the Mushroom Kingdom comes together to see who can become the superstar by playing a collection of mini-games that are both challenging and fun. See? Even Bowser, who clearly isn't the dragon turtle, is having fun. One of the most famous events, though, are the fighting tournaments. In these, combatants come from locations like Hyrule, Planet Popstar, and Onet to battle it out to show who is the top dog. So if you would like to have an exciting time here in the Mushroom Kingdom, then you can... Hold on for 1 second, folks. Hello? What? Bowser stole Princess Peach again? This is terrible at this time. I gotta go. I'm sorry for that, folks, but it seems I'm going to have to cut this episode short. So, I'll see you in the next episode of The Gaming Tourist.
So he might be over here. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we're looking all over the Mushroom Kingdom. We can't seem to find him anywhere.
Yeah.
But
Colton's still missing.
still gone. But we're going to keep looking for him. But first, Aiden's got something to tell us about esports. So let's check that out. Shall we?
Yes.
Welcome back to Press Starts Esports. I'm your host, Aiden, and let's get into it. There's been a lot that has happened since the last episode, so I'm here to fill you in. We've had Capcom Cup, Genesis 6, and the start of Season 9 of LCS, and more. Capcom Cup happened on December 14th and spanned 2 days with the top 50 best Street Fighter V players in the world. Last episode, I predicted number 1 Tokido would take first place in the tournament, but sadly my prediction was wrong. Tokido placed 13th. While Itabashi Zangief and Gachikun battled it out in the finals. Ultimately, Gachikun took first place with his signature character, Rashid. Recently, in Oakland, California, a tournament convention called Genesis 6 had a slew of, well, tournaments. Tournaments including Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Smash Bros. Melee, and other Smash-like games. They even had a tournament for Dance Dance Revolution Extreme. In the Melee single tournament, top Smash players Mango and Swedish Delight were both knocked out early on in the tournament, while another top player, Leffen, dropped out before the tournament began. In other news, League of Legends' 9th season of Spring Split LCS started on January 25th. As of recording this, the top 2 teams standing out are Team Liquid with a 6-0 record and Cloud9 with a 4-2 record. There's also a 4-way tie for second. So far, I predict that Team Liquid will remain on top and keep that undefeated record by the end of the Spring Split. Lastly, Echo Fox loses a few of its strongest Street Fighter players, Takedo and Justin Wong. According to Echo Fox's president, an agreement for a new contract couldn't be made for Takedo and Justin Wong, leaving them both to become free agents as of now. That's all the time we have for now. I'll see you next week.
Wow. Something about taquitos and something about Sonic Fox.
Taquitos, I'm hungry.
I love taquitos.
Me too. You know what, let's
Speaking of things I love, Halo. I love it. And
I loved it, but then it
Yeah.
got bad.
It got bad for a couple of games
Yeah.
now. But you'll see why right now.
That was good.
Hi, I'm Tristan West, and this is Gaming Evolutions. Today I'll be talking about the evolution of one of my personal favorite franchises, Halo. I'll be focusing on the graphics, the soundtrack, the gameplay, and the story. Released in 2001, Halo Combat Evolved was the first game of the series and kicked off this franchise. Admittedly, the graphics haven't aged well, but it's still playable. And with the remastered version putting a shiny new coat over everything, it's definitely still relevant. The soundtrack is legendary. It creates a sense of adventure and wonder in these new alien environments. Made by Martin O'Donnell and Michael Salvatore, it features orchestral pieces that makes you feel like you can take on the whole galaxy and enemy themes that will make your blood run cold. You'll never forget the first time you go up against the Flood. As far as gameplay, a decent AI combined with fun weapons, sprawling and unique levels, and the story keep it alive and exciting. The story is easy to follow for the casual gamer, but for those who pay attention, there's so much you can experience in this game. It was fun, original, and made the player feel like the super soldier space marine Master Chief is made out to be. All in all, there's a certain charm to this game that keeps me coming back to play it. Even with the outdated graphics, this game is sure to have a strong player base in years to come. Halo 2 took a new approach to the series while keeping in touch with everything that made the first game great. The original graphics they leave room to be desired. However, the new remastered version completely revamps the entire game, putting a new look on everything and adding so much detail to everything that if you looked at a side-by-side comparison, it would be hard to believe it's the same game, making it one of the best-looking games on the list. The remastered soundtrack, however, not so much. The original soundtrack was very similar to the first game, which is perfect. It seemed like a continuation of the first game, adding a new list of songs that matched the awe of the original. Gameplay-wise, this was the first game to implement the dual-wielding mechanic. Though I missed the Magnum that could two-shot the toughest enemies, there was something satisfying about shooting two machine guns at once. The Arbiter missions were surprisingly fun, especially since you got to utilize the coveted camouflage of the elites for the first time. As far as story, Halo 2 picked up where 1 left off, and is one of the most legendary cliffhanger endings in a game ever. Tad more complicated than the first, but still easy to follow and action-packed. Not to mention the best character of the series really got to shine here, Sergeant Avery Johnson.
The message just repeats. Regret, regret, regret.
Catchy. Any idea what it means?
Dear humanity, we regret being alien bastards. We regret coming to Earth. And we most definitely regret the Corps just blew up our raggedy-ass fleet. Hoorah!
Regret is a name, Sergeant.
The ending of a trilogy and the most popular installment of the Master Chief Collection, Halo 3 is a fitting finale to the series. The graphics aren't anything special, big improvement over Halo 2, before the remaster, of course. Still very playable, and you can still immerse yourself in the environments around you. As far as the soundtrack, Martin and Michael follow what they set up in 1 and 2, and offer new and improved versions of a number of the classics from the original. I've always been impressed with their work, and Halo 3 blows me away with their music. Gameplay introduced armor abilities, several new weapons, vehicles, and enemies, and taking down Scarab tanks. The maps were every bit as fantastic as their predecessors. This game made you feel like you were the Master Chief, and the story definitely helped with that. The finale, the last mission, the threat to end all threats. With the help of his companions Cortana, the Arbiter, Johnson, and Keyes, Master Chief takes it all in strides and looks like a badass while doing it. Only one other game has made me feel like more of a hero than this one. Halo Reach, the prequel that took the gaming world by storm. By far the most popular in the franchise, this game that was released a little over 8 years ago has still managed to keep a living multiplayer, and is my personal favorite game in the franchise. Featuring the best graphics yet at the time of its release, everything in this game is gorgeous. There wasn't a single moment in this game where I wasn't appreciating all the beauty put into it, and the soundtrack fit in perfectly with this. Featuring another set from Martin and Michael, this soundtrack felt like Halo, and yet it was new. To distinguish it from Master Chief, this game had all new songs and a new theme song that could hold its own against the very first game's theme. Reach made a return to the classic original, bringing back health packs, removing dual wielding, and bringing the Magnum back up to an acceptable power level. On top of that, we got a whole new array of weapons to add to our arsenal, including one of my personal favorites, the plasma cannon. The vehicle combat was improved, though the Warthog is still less than ideal. New and improved armor abilities, competent AI squad mates, this game gave us everything. But the best part of this game, what sets it apart, was the story. Thrust into a horrible war, facing danger, setbacks and death at every turn, there's a certain bleakness in this game absent in the Master Chief saga, but that makes it all the more thrilling. On top of that, this is the second game to give you a squad to bond with, but it accomplishes this so much better than ODST. You really feel a connection with your squad mates, even without learning all of their backstories. But my personal favorite aspect of this game, you get to be you. You're not the Master Chief or any established character, you're you. You get to create your own Spartan soldier with your own fully customizable set of armor, and you get to be the hero. And a hero you are, sacrificing it all to save what you can and repel the endless onslaught of Covenant forces. While this game may not have the galactic annihilation threat level, the grounded atmosphere and the fact that you can see all of the planetary damage does volumes more to showcase the power of the enemy than any preceding game. And in the end, without going into detail, your legacy is solidified in humanity's survival. This was the last game made by Bungie, but not the last Halo game. This was the first new game released by 343 Studios, and honestly, it wasn't terrible at all. The graphics were, of course, the best looking to date. The environments had so much detail in them. They were definitely pretty to look at, and I'd be lying if I said I didn't thoroughly enjoy exploring the planet's colorful core or the rough terrain of the desert with the mammoth. To me, the only real disappointment was the soundtrack. The game had very noticeably changed composers, and while there wasn't anything bad about the music, it lacked the emotion instilled by its predecessors. It felt like generic sci-fi action music. It truly never stuck out to me on my first playthrough, which was a first for Halo. As far as gameplay, we got a number of new guns, and there's so much fun to play with. As far as the story, it seemed lackluster compared to the other games, but it wasn't bad either. The Didact was the first time we had a solo antagonist, and he does a good job at being a believable threat. And to the gamers that seek out the hidden lore, there's so much new information to be gained. The Covenant, as always, is hilarious if you listen to their dialogue. But to me, the biggest draw of the story was a relationship. I haven't talked much about Cortana, Chief's partner. She's been with him since the beginning, and through thick and thin has offered vital support to the player. The first 3 games did an excellent job portraying their relationship, and every Halo fan lives for Cortana's one-liners, of which we get plenty in this game.
I don't know about you, but I usually like a little more intel with my intel.
She's always been an integral part in each game, and is one of the many reasons the campaigns are loved by so many. This game went further into their bond, perhaps further than necessary, but it was a welcome addition to see more of the sassy AI we've come to love. As much hate as the game got, I can honestly say it and the original trilogy succeeded in making me genuinely care about the character. I had fun playing this game, and though it doesn't measure up to the old ones, I'll definitely play it again. The next game is a different story. Where to start? How about on a positive note? Visually, this game was stunning. The colors, the cutscenes, the environment, it was all beautiful, and it initially made me feel like I had returned to the old games and their fantasticality. Gameplay certainly held up with exciting battles, fresh but familiar combat systems, and the fantastic enemies Halo was known for. The energy in the combat was real, and the firefights were fun. The weapons, however, were a downgrade from the last game. Most of the sound effects were updated, making the majority of the weapons sound strange to the veteran Halo player, and all in all took away some of the oomph you felt firing them. The soundtrack was actually an improvement over the last game, paying homage to classics from the originals while adding in some new music for the new players. So far, not a terrible game. In these aspects, it's neck and neck with 4. All in all, I had fun during the combat. What truly disappointed me was the story. Where previous games let the player go through the action and most exciting parts, this game relied on cinematics to show admittedly amazing combat maneuvers, but it's still noticeable that the freedom of doing that yourself is taken away. There's a particular scene in the second mission that closely resembles the events of one level in Halo 3, in which Master Chief navigates a flood-infested ship to find Cortana. In that game, the player actually went through the event, and it had all the more impact. Here, it's like watching a movie. But more than that, what I believe most of the die-hard fans are mad at was the bastardization of a few characters, namely Master Chief and Cortana. One of the draws of the original games was the fact that Master Chief could be anybody. He could be the player. He didn't speak often, never showed his face, and while personality wasn't absent, he didn't let it overpower everything else. In 5, the writers threw all of this out the window. This Chief is a rogue soldier being driven by emotions. The old Chief wouldn't do what this one does. On top of that, Cortana has lost her nerve and has been reduced from a strong, dependable ally to a lovesick robot in love with the protagonist. This story may be okay were it a standalone game in another franchise, but it takes everything established in the originals and throws it into the trash. It's not Halo. And on top of that, the conflict here does not hold a candle to the threat presented by the Covenant, the Halo Rings, or the Flood. It simply lacks the scale and heroism present in the old games. That being said, Halo is still a treasure to the gaming world, and at the end of the day, if you don't like one game, don't play it. Halo has come a long way since 2001, and my favorites will always hold a special place in my heart, and I will always go back to play them. I'll see you next time on Gaming Evolutions.
Halo really has come a long way. It's gone from absolutely amazing.
It's absolute garbage.
Yeah.
I mean, in my opinion.
Speaking of things that aren't garbage, Resident Evil 2 just came out recently.
That is a
and
fact.
you did a review on it.
I sure did, Matt.
So I guess we're going to take a little gander into that now, won't we? Right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come. We finally have our hands on the remake of one of my all-time favorite games. That's right, today I'm going to be reviewing the remake of the beloved Resident Evil 2. Fans of the Resident Evil series have been waiting for this remake for over a decade. Now 21 years later, our wishes come true. My name is Mike and welcome to Press Start Reviews. As with many remakes and remasters in today's world, developers simply update the graphics and soundtracks. The Resident Evil 2 remake, however, had the developer start from almost nothing. Earlier games in the Resident Evil series was famous for fixed camera angles causing major anxiety and stress to the players as well as frustrations. The remake of the second game in the series strays away from the fixed camera angles and replaces it with a third-person camera. This was a huge step in the right direction. You're able to see every detail of the environment the way I know they were meant to be seen. Some might say seeing everything would make the game a little less scary and more of an action game. Well, I think they're 1,000% wrong. I feel like this adds even more horror being able to see how claustrophobic some of the areas are and realizing that there's no way out unless you used up some of your precious ammo. Which brings me to my next point, conservation. As every fan of Resident Evil knows, conservation is a key part of any title in the series. Trying to figure out whether or not to take out a zombie or just try to outmaneuver them helps put you in the environment and situation of the game. My first playthrough of the game, I was very irresponsible with my ammo, which caused a lot of headaches later in the game. Another feature of every Resident Evil game is inventory management. You start the game with only 8 inventory slots, which you will most likely fill up in the first 30 minutes of the game. This causes players to have to plan ahead and decide what equipment and keys they need to bring with them to progress the game. Now on to a minor flaw in the remake, the lighting. While the lighting in the game isn't a huge deal for me, I did find it slightly annoying that I couldn't toggle the flashlight on and off. There aren't any areas that you're completely blind, but some areas had me squinting to see or drawing my curtains if I happen to be playing during the day. Now the lighting isn't all bad, it adds to the overall atmosphere of the game and causes players to feel a sense of dread in almost every room you enter. With the release of the remake of the very first Resident Evil on the GameCube back in 2002, Capcom introduced defense weapons and they are back and perfected in this remake. Scattered around the Raccoon City police station and other areas of the game are combat knives, flash grenades, and hand grenades. These act not only as defense items, but secondary weapons altogether. You're also able to decide whether you want to use them or not when you're grabbed from behind by the zombie, unlike the predecessor's remake where you were forced to use it when you were grabbed. Now that we got the gameplay discussion out of the way, it's time to talk about the story. As I mentioned before, Capcom remade this game from the ground up. The only thing that is almost exactly the same is the story itself, just mixed around a little bit with one new area, the orphanage. I won't talk about the orphanage too much because there's some spoilers in there, so you'll have to find out. The encounters you have in the original game may not happen, or it might even happen in a different point in the game. The puzzles are different and they aren't too difficult to the point of frustration, while also not being too easy, leaving the player unsatisfied and unrewarded. Each puzzle in the game seems somewhat practical compared to the weird puzzles from the original that left you thinking, why does a police station have a door that only unlocks when 2 statues are placed on 2 certain tiles? Or why is there a gigantic goddess statue in the middle of the entrance? Most of the puzzles and secret passageways in the police station itself are very easily explained by a single document found early in the game. The police station was simply converted from an art museum to what is now known as a police station, although there's still the question of why a museum would have these types of secret passageways and all that, but that's a topic for a different time. There's also some corruption in the higher ranks of the RPD, but I'm trying to keep this review as spoiler-free as possible, so you just have to play. This remake takes the already interesting story from the original and makes it better. Dialogue between characters seemed natural and genuine. I personally found Claire to be very relatable in her side commentary during her campaign. Having these minor details allows players to connect with the characters and end up caring about their well-being throughout the entire game. There are essentially 4 different scenarios in the game. We have Leon A and Claire B, as well as Claire A and Leon B. Now I know that in the original, the canonical scenarios are Claire A and Leon B, and as far as the remake, I'm not 100% sure, but it does seem to be the same as well. Not only do you get to play the main story, you're also rewarded with other game modes once you complete an A-B scenario. Once completed, you'll be able to play the Force Survivor, where you play as Umbrella Operative Hunk. After completing that, you'll be able to play Tofu Survivor, where you play as a giant chunk of tofu. Not even lying, it was in the original and it's back. I miss the times where almost every game had some sort of reward for completing the game instead of buying DLC after already spending 60 bucks. Something new for Resident Evil 2 on February 15th is the Ghost Survivors DLC, which is free. In this DLC, you'll get 3 brand new stories added to the game. Each story follows one of the side characters you encounter throughout the campaign, leading up to their ultimate demise. Overall, Resident Evil 2 is not only a fantastic remake, but a fantastic game altogether, and fans of the original series as well as new fans of the series will definitely enjoy it. The game can be challenging at times, but it rewards your hard work with a great story that expands the Resident Evil universe. I know I'll be playing this for a long time, and that's something I personally look for in all of my games. Despite the very minor lighting issues I personally have with the game, I still give Resident Evil 2 Remake a 9.5 out of 10. Once again, I'm Mike, and I'll be back whenever the Resident Evil 3 Remake decides to drop. See you then. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
That was amazing.
It
I
sure
love
was.
Resident Evil 2, the game that I've never played.
And he will never play it because he's too busy with Persona 5, a game that came out, what, forever ago.
It's 100 hours long. I don't
I
know what you want me to tell you.
You had like 365 days to play it.
All right. Well, clearly we're going to have a little talk.
Yeah, we will.
But in the meantime, we'll have a nice little discussion about Battle Royales, the franchise that nobody is tired about. No one is tired of Battle Royales at all. Let's check it out.
I'm not happy with you, by the way.
No, I'm sorry.
Hey, welcome back to another exciting new discussion on Press Start. Today we're going to be talking about the hit new craze, which is Battle Royales. With me today I have Will, Joshua, and what's your name?
Ben.
Ben. Nice to meet you, Ben. He's a new member of Press Start. But yeah, we're going to go around the table here and we'll let everyone say what their favorite Battle Royale game is. Currently, mine, I love Apex. I think Tetris 99 is going to be a hard contender for taking the top, but Will, what's your favorite?
I would also have to say Apex, through the pure love of Titanfall franchise and Respawn's game design and shooting mechanics are just really well done. So
they did Titanfall.
Me? Well, see, here's the thing. I've only played one Battle Royale, and that's Fortnite. Call me cheesy or something like that, but it's not out of a lack of trying. I wanted to play Apex, but I don't have anything that can play it. Like, I tried playing it online, laptop can't run it, don't have Xbox Live. That being said, I do like Fortnite. A lot of people call it, bad game and all that. I like Fortnite. I just think it's a little overrated, to be honest.
I don't know. I feel like if I play one Battle Royale game, I play them all. I definitely think Tetris 99 is going to have hard competition with Apex. Apex is really the only Battle Royale game that I played where I felt good about myself playing it and not like complete trash. So, yeah.
I say my experience of Apex, literally I was I'm used to playing Titanfall, so all that knowledge I got from playing Titanfall was immediately applied to that. And I found myself getting Vic Roy's pretty early on Fortnite, where I feel I die the first 5 seconds I drop.
Yes, thank you. Someone, that's my problem with Fortnite. I haven't played Fortnite in months, and that's part of the reason why, because every time I played it,
there's such a
there's a learning curve. Yeah, I mean, most Battle Royals do have that. I mean, Apex Legends, they basically just drop you right into it. But there was a tutorial, small tutorial, but tutorial all the same. Fortnite, they definitely gotta just drop you in, and man, did I lose.
Hey, and there's so much to it now. There's been I haven't played maybe since season 5. I played a little bit of season 8, but there's just so much new stuff. Every time I play it, there's something new that I was oh, this wasn't in the game 2 months ago when I last played. And everyone's just running around kicking my butt with shotguns, whatever the pack-a-fort is, stuff like that. I'm dropping terminologies. That's probably obsolete as hell, but...
Can we just say how, Apex probably came out the most polished out of all Battle Royales?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, by far.
It's so smooth.
It dropped out of nowhere. Yeah. It just came out. No one knew about it until a few days before, and it was just great. It got over 2 million players in one day, and now I think it's pushing 25 strong.
I think that's what made it so good, is the fact that it came out suddenly, and it was this well-polished game that no one had heard of until basically the day it had come out. And, it was
it's basically this great game.
And as oversaturated as the Battle Royale market is right now, like most people are like, oh, I'm going to play this game once, say like, oh, it's a crappy Battle Royale game and just move on. But like, it got a very strong like player base quickly because it's polished, it's good. Like, there's things there that make you want to come back. Like, honestly, it's a blend of like just Battle Royale and like hero shooters similar to like Rainbow Six Siege or Overwatch, where there's a very like specific character you want to play to your play style. Like personally, I like Gibraltar or Lifeline because I'm a big like support player guy, and both of those people like, kind of have that need for my play style.
Mm. Yeah. Could we just say like how straight up mechanics, flawless? One downside I have is the no wall running.
Compared to Titanfall?
Compared to Titanfall. Because I went in expecting the wall running. They do have the slide, which you pick up speed sliding down hills. The ping system.
The ping system is brilliant.
Oh, it's so
good. It does such a nice job of just...
Like especially if like you have no party.
You don't want to talk to people, so you don't have to, and it works around you not wanting to talk to people. Because I know like when I squad up in like Fortnite or PUBG, or even like if I play Realm Morale or something, it's kind of just like, I don't really want to talk to these people. I just want to like just play a game so I have class in 20 minutes and just pop out something real quick. And Apex is kind of just like, yeah, I can still tell them what I want them to do without like
having to
actually like, plug in my mic and be like awkwardly talking to them like, oh, hey guys.
Oh, hi, you guys go left.
Oddly enough, there are still people who end up using their mics. I mean,
there are people who use their mics who shouldn't use their mics.
Exactly.
It's like your dog's barking, dude. You're not saying anything. Mute it, please.
Or those 12-year-olds that think they're like, YouTube.
Yeah.
Or music in the background.
What's up, guys?
Oh, no.
Yeah. Music in the background, mom yelling.
I love listening to Mo Bamba while I wreck some scrubs in Fortnite.
Yeah. So we've been talking about Apex Legends this entire time. It's not like that's the only Battle Royale.
How does it compare to other Battle Royales?
Like, say, Blackout, which I think is probably the biggest thing that's the closest thing it's to right now.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have been comparing it to Blackout. Personally, like, when I first played Blackout, I was like, wow, I think this is better than both Fortnite and PUBG. Like, it's kind of polished. Like, it's still buggy here and there. Like, you have those obvious, like...
It has some great concepts of, like, bringing in old maps that we know and then combining into just one giant field.
No, it is a AAA title. Like, it's a AAA
like, it's obviously like Activision cashing in on the whole like Fortnite PUBG craze.
Yeah.
But I feel like they did it like in such like they did it really well in my opinion. And I feel like Apex was just like an evolution of that.
Yeah, it works well. I think you're right, it was a bit of a cash grab on it, which is kind of annoying, of which I'm also surprised is that so many people kind of went for it.
I mean, they're fun. Like, I personally don't think there's anything wrong with Battle Royale games. Do I think it's an oversaturated market? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's an oversaturated market, and if someone jumps into it, there's a good chance it's just a cash grab. Call of Duty doing it. Let's be honest, it basically was a cash grab, but it ended up being a good cash grab. Like it was a polished game.
They actually cared about what the product they were selling.
Yeah, it worked.
Yeah, but one issue I had with Call of Duty was it wasn't free. It was a $60 price tag. And then they also put in the same thing that Fortnite's been doing, the season pass thing.
I mean, it's Activision, it's Call of Duty. Like, they're going to try to get your money somewhere.
Well, that's another thing that kind of led so many people to Apex Legends. It's the fact that it's free.
Yeah. It's free. It's a finished product. It's polished.
And let's be honest. It coming out suddenly without anyone telling it, then it's a full-priced game. Wouldn't have gotten as many people.
Is run by EA,
which
is surprising, and the fact that there was no marketing up until the game's release.
Actually, my problem with Apex, like when I first heard about it, I was like, oh, EA is just trying to make Respawn do what they want them to do, not what Respawn wants to do, and
and then Respawn came out and said, hey, we made this and took it to EA, and EA is like, yeah, sure, just.
I don't know if they actually said that.
Well, yeah, there was an interview saying that Respawn knows what people think of EA, and they're like, yeah, we know EA can kind of be a butt about things sometimes, but we made this game with some things that EA wanted in it, and they said, we'll let you make whatever you want, and we'll fund it, just add some microtransactions, which they did, but aren't active.
Yeah, like
last time I played it, at least, it wasn't active.
I mean, you can buy them. There's straight up a store on like the main homepage.
But it's
I mean,
not
like,
unfair because you still earn.
It's all
everything in
cosmetic.
the
It's
game.
all
it's
cosmetic. Look, I'm cool with microtransactions.
Except for the characters, but like,
characters.
who wants to play Mirage and Caustic?
I'm perfectly fine with microtransactions as long as it's like purely cosmetic.
Yeah.
Like if it goes further than that, then like it gets a little ridiculous.
Playing a few hours, you earn enough to buy a character either way, and I hope they keep adding characters.
I think there's a lot of room for improvement, honestly.
Yeah. One thing I picked up that I don't think a lot of people did was the lore, which was in the opening. And in the opening of the game, there's an old man talking, and you see his face at the end. He's actually the main villain of the second game.
In Apex?
Yeah, in
The opening
Apex.
scene? I didn't watch the opening scene, if I'm being
It's
completely honest.
Apex is connected to.
Yeah,
It's
Apex.
connected to the Titanfall universe, yeah.
His whole quote is, "Oh, you kill me, you're better. If I kill you, I'm better." And they show him as an old man. I'm like, oh, hey, he's like the main villain in the second Titanfall game, which amazing campaign, but I like how they tie that in straight into the universe of Titanfall. Like, there's a direct connection from the opening.
So it's basically like, it's almost as if Titanfall has its own Battle Royale just without the Titanfall name.
Yeah.
Which kind of also makes it seem a little less like a cash grab as well. Because it seems like its own game.
When I heard Apex was coming out, I thought it would be an add-on to Titanfall to get people to buy Titanfall 2.
Which, I mean, it works.
Wait, you heard this game come out? It was coming out?
Well, yeah, because like the weekend before, people were like, oh,
Mm.
new Titanfall game coming out. It could be a Battle Royale, or it could be Titanfall 3. And I'm like, that's kind of out of nowhere. And I thought they were just going to like slap on a Battle Royale to Titanfall 2, because Titanfall 2 didn't have any, it didn't really sell well because of its release date. But then they're like, no, this is a completely different game set in the Titanfall universe. And I was like, okay, cool. By the way, it's free.
So that's what people are trying the free stuff all the time.
Yeah.
But anyways, it seems like we're running out of time here, so would you guys happen to have any final remarks you want to say about just the genre in general, or just anything more about Apex you want to say?
Yeah, because that's pretty much the only thing we've been talking about the entire time, let's be honest. Well, while the whole field is saturated with battle royales, a new take on it, a refreshing take on it, can be something that renews it. And Apex Legends is basically what that is, in my opinion.
I enjoy it. I say play it. There's no harm in playing a free game, honestly.
I mean, yeah, I just, like, if you hate battle royales because they're the big thing, like, give it a chance. Like, yeah, some of them are bad. Like, I'm not too big on Fortnite. Like, I have fun playing with my friends from back home. But, like, I'll never, like, boot it up because I want to boot it up. It's more just like, yeah, let's just screw around for an hour or two. And then Apex, I feel like it's just like it's taking a genre that's starting to feel stale and kind of just like making it feel fresh again. And honestly, there's only so much longer you can do that before everyone's kind of just sick of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Apex Legends does pretty good a job with that.
Hashtag bring back Minecraft survival games.
And also hashtag get that Vic Roy.
Yeah.
Where are we dropping?
Not here. Not here. Not now.
Wow. Battle Royales. How about that, Mike?
You know, I was over them, and then Tetris 99 came out. As I like to call it, Tetris Battle Royale. It's great. Go get it.
Speaking of things that aren't great, Jump Force came out the other day, and it came out with a whisper. I don't think really anybody talks about it anymore, but we're going to play it anyway.
We'll see how it is.
Check it out.
So any commentary?
Yeah, commentators commentate.
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 I don't know anything about anime.
Oh, here we are.
Oh, here we go.
There we go.
I don't know how you punch the sword, but okay. Please go easy on me.
He's itching for a fight. You ever see in the hood in the videos where they're like this? His eye. He's Fetty Wap.
I guess that's a spoiler, huh?
Was it? Wait, who's Zoro?
Me.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait, how do you block?
That's a good question.
How do I block?
That's probably something we should
Yeah,
figure
you
out
should
to
probably,
begin
like-
with.
Okay, how are you charging up?
R2.
Okay, now how do you block?
This is what we get for skipping the tutorial.
R1 take a block.
Alright, okay.
Oh.
I blocked that, but okay.
It's probably an unblockable move. Neither have I, but I've seen the game.
Gotcha.
Oh shit. Oof.
I didn't do as much damage as I thought it'd be.
Okay, I kind of get this thing. Oh. Alright, round one, not so good. Okay, cool. I guess I'm just gonna get destroyed by Tyler.
Now you know why I didn't want to play against him.
Just saying, I use an attack, but I guess no register. How'd you do that grab?
Circle?
Oh, was that a grab?
That's a grab.
Oh.
I wouldn't know because I can't tell what's going on. Well, and I just get no chance to recover.
Well, I don't know if you've noticed yet, but you can't
No,
give me
I've
a butt
noticed.
kick.
You don't have to say anything.
Okay, I'm just
at all.
making sure you know.
No, you don't need to say anything at all.
Wow. Just toss me up in the air.
Okay.
Yeah, let's be honest. The majority of these moves should be erasing these people from existence.
Oh yeah, it should be disintegrating them just like that.
Yeah.
Cool. Still don't know how to dodge or anything. Tyler, what are
So
you
the
doing?
literal sun engulfing you doesn't kill you, but a little sword swipe just knocks you right out.
You know, a small cut on the cheek.
So it figures out when you can actually make a combo of it, so matter.
It does. Because I haven't
Wait, is that Robin?
He still has his arm though.
Maybe.
I don't know. I wasn't
wouldn't
asking
know.
you.
I
was
wouldn't
like,
know. I mean, I figured you were asking
Okay,
me.
wait. Can I get a quick rundown?
No,
What button is what?
Yeah.
No, you don't get rundowns.
Okay, thank you. Hey, wait a second.
I don't know. I don't know what I did.
Wait a second. Wait.
Okay, I'll stop. I'll stop.
Okay, hold on.
Let's learn the game really
That's
quick.
not it. Wait.
I didn't do anything. You did that.
I didn't do that. You hit me. Why did I take damage?
Look, I'm gonna
Who's
don't.
who?
Who's who? Hold on.
I'm Naruto.
All right, I'm Kakashi.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm looking at
While
my
you're
thing.
charging, you can bring up your specials. And you press it. You just
Try
block
like pressing
and
like
hold
left circle or something. That's hefty sand.
What's block again?
R1.
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 Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, found out what dodge is, I think.
Yeah, if you're moving while blocking, that's dodging. But
Yeah, you
there's
said
no-
you didn't know which one it was.
There's no real dodge button if you're getting hit.
That actually worked.
So delayed.
Oh, you dodged that?
Apparently.
Oh, you can create combos like when you're sitting there smacking them around. You can press L2 to switch
What?
characters.
Huh?
And continue.
Wait, what happened?
I did something.
I can't tell anymore.
Now you know what I mean.
Go.
Oh, right. Wait, I can do a spirit bomb? Oh, best
Yes.
believe.
Give me your energy.
I'm just
You're
gonna
not
hold out
dodging
one.
this. You are not dodging that. You are not dodging that.
Well,
Holy crap.
Oh, you know, you're done.
You're surviving by 1
I don't know what's going
You're
on.
alive?
Am I
You
still
die.
But 1.
Why do you keep doing this?
Well, that was an
well,
instant
there you go.
transmission. I'll take that.
Okay.
Why are you doing this? So we can fight.
Come here.
No.
Is anybody
Get
else
away.
keeping track of
Get
what's
back
Get
here.
away.
No.
Get away.
Come here. Oops, wrong button.
Oh,
Oh. Hey, I
What
moved.
the heck?
Where's my attack?
yeah, that should have hit. Just saying.
Oh. Missed.
Wow.
お前はもう死んでいる。何?
Hey, cool. Like, what's the name? Substitution jutsu. That was it.
Really?
How'd you do that?
Don't know.
Damn
I'll
it.
take it though. I'm not complaining.
Or something.
Oh.
Yeah, it's the counteracting move.
Ah, so it is a counter move. Okay, so I want to see the 1,000 Years of Death.
No. We did not want to see that.
I just want to see Komodo.
Yeah.
I like how you see the reflections in the puddles.
But the game's not there.
That is called detail.
Hashtag not Puddlegate. Hashtag not Spider-Man PS4.
Ha,
All right.
got it.
Wow.
Sounds good. Fair enough.
Okay,
Now what?
I'm gonna give my honest opinion here now. I like the game.
This is
At
really
least
hard.
playing it, it's good.
Weird. I have all my notes really bad.
Oh, dude, this top half guy is
Dude,
steampunk.
look, it's Naruto.
Is it Naruto?
Yeah, dude, it's Naruto.
Boruto.
Do they call him
No, I
Boruto
just
because
do
he's so boring?
Jutsus. Rasengan, right? That's
I'm gonna-
what that is?
Oh no, big forehead girl.
Substitute. She had some
Ooh,
Oh my
special
God.
beam
What is
cannon!
happening? Wait,
Dude, I'm just pressing square.
I think. Oh, it's square? Alright, I'll match square with you.
Dude, look, it's Sabo.
Oh,
Is
God.
Is that One Piece?
Sabo. He's hit him with like a pipe, I think.
Oh, God. Oh,
Alright,
God. I think you are
I'm gonna assume it's
destroying
One
me.
Piece.
He looks like a One Piece
I'm,
character.
I'm gone. New York has never looked better.
How do I figure out secrets?
Me too. I'm just mashing buttons and hope that one of them does the thing.
Do R2 and a button.
Oh, God. Oh.
Hit.
There we got him.
I'm dead. I am. Oh,
No, he's almost dead.
Okay. I have no idea what's going on.
Look at those, the honka
Pistol kill.
loose.
Just fighting.
There we go.
You beat
we
the
do
crap
it?
out of that
Did I
woman.
die?
Kakashi lost his cool vest. Now he's just wearing all black. Like
I was wondering why
He's
I
wearing
was-
like a onesie. He's ready for bed.
Jesus.
Flash boys.
That's his ninja way.
Oh, God. I forgot who I was for a second.
Dude, I cannot
Whoa.
even see anything. I need to switch.
I can't even tell what's going on right now. It just is a filler.
Oh my goodness.
Ew, did you see how stretchy his arm is? Is he Dawson?
Yes. Actually,
Oh, God.
dude,
I got him with the special beam
You
cannon.
got that Vic Roy. Who was that?
There you
Hell
go.
yeah, brother.
Is that you, James?
That was
Alright.
a good match.
Oh,
I had
dude.
no idea.
Alright.
I don't know what I was
Wait, John,
doing.
can we switch controllers? This is going to disorient me if I'm on
Alright.
the right.
okay. Boy,
James, this
I think
controller's a
we've
little
seen
sweaty.
more
Dude.
loading.
These are
I'm
You gotta
sorry.
watch your hands.
It was pretty intense, man.
It is a pretty intense match. You're watching anime.
Yeah.
I
Literally.
too
I was
sweat.
I
You ready for
was
this?
anime, dude. I was
you ready to see
I was like the
Goku?
gamer.
Yeah, Matt, if I ever get
Lose.
into a cutscene, I'm going to be doing hand jutsus. Just to let you know.
You have every time you actually do it on screen, you have the dropping control. And dude,
You just call him Sora.
Oh, what does he say? You're the perfect training partners.
Oh.
And then what does Goku say?
ew.
What?
That's not what he sounds like
Oh, it's an old
usually.
woman doing that voice.
Why?
Because
Because she's like 80.
Oh, dude, do the
I'm
old thing.
leaving. I'll see you later.
Dude, I wish I could
I'm
jump up
getting out of
on
here
right
now.
now.
Oh,
Come on, come on, you gotta Rasengan him.
No,
he
I
just
gotta
dabbed.
I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here.
Oh, what the heck are you doing?
You got armor on that,
Dude, I did that cool move.
How'd you do that?
You did that thing that's in
How do I block?
in Dragon Ball.
What? Was that me or you? What's
That,
going
I don't
on?
know.
Oh,
Wait,
Oh, is that the Kaioken?
Oh, get him, Tree Trunks.
Oh, dude.
Oh, there is a limit on your moves. You have the little bar under you.
Oh.
Dude, I mean, do you want to start Rasenganing a bit?
I don't know where I am. Oh. What just happened?
Hey, you're in your butt.
I'm
That's
getting
happening.
there.
Dude, I'm hitting you with that.
Get him, monkey man.
Oh, no.
Hit him with the stretchy
Hit him with that
power.
monkey move.
Hit that triangle button
This is like
so
in
good.
real life. I just get my butt
Said
kicked all the
witch's
time.
walnut.
Which is walnuts.
How would you?
I
Are
don't.
you referring to
I
Trunks?
hit you once.
Oh, I'm okay.
No, there's like a sign in the back.
I'm Luffy.
Huh.
There's like a sign in the back that says
How do I
witch's
do my
walnut.
special
Dude,
moves?
this game's moving so fast,
yeah,
I can't
dude.
even like pay attention to that kind of stuff.
I'm not
Dude,
trying not to
you
focus on the
spear-
fighters, to be honest.
Where's King
It
Kyle
did no
again?
damage.
That was
Oh, dude, it's the best saga.
Wow, that was.
Where'd you go? Oh, you were out of range, you dingus Dan.
Get him, Naruto.
Nani? Switch characters.
You hit the triggers. What? So what is this super button? Oh, there's the Rasengan. Hit him with it. Hit him with it.
Oh. I block.
R1.
It's a tree.
This is really not.
Rolling in the middle.
Where's the music? Why is it it's so quiet.
It doesn't feel good at all.
This doesn't remind me.
Was that a counter? What was that?
I don't know, but I did
punched you. Now you're punching me. Now I'm dead. I'm finished.
You're
I got Vic
finished.
Roy, dude. I dropped it on
Dude,
Token Tower.
you didn't get the Vic Roy.
I didn't even know what happened. I was furiously hitting buttons, and I didn't get the win.
Just utter fucking shock.
I mean, that would get tiring in like 20 more minutes.
I was already tired of it in 10 minutes.
You look like you just stared at a TV and you were like, what happened?
I couldn't even tell where I was half the time.
I can't seem to find him anywhere. I think he's just gone.
Yeah.
But how about that jump force?
Yeah, it's there. It happened.
I will say it is pretty cool that I get to be Yugi Moto and beat the crap out of Dio.
Yeah, what's not so cool is the loading screens and the cutscenes to get to the game.
And the terrible graphics and the not English dub. And
the list can go on and on, but we are out of time.
Yeah, we are out of time for this week of Press Start. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, I'm your host, Matt.
Not so frequently, I'm your host, Mike.
And hopefully next week, Colton will be around. But in the meantime, please check us out on all our social media at Press Start IEP TV.
And tune in next week when we'll be playing
something else. We'll see you then.
There it is. Thank you, thank you. I'll be in my dressing room.